Hello everyone. Today we're going to practice a real 11 plus comprehension question together. We'll read a passage from a very famous children's novel, learn a little about it, and then work step by step to answer the exam-style question. Ready? Let's go. This passage comes from Heidi by Johanna Spyri, first published in 1881. It tells the story of Heidi, a little girl who goes to live with her grumpy grandfather in the Swiss Alps. At first, the old man seems stern and silent, but over time, Heidi brings warmth and kindness into his life. After Detta had disappeared, the uncle sat down again on the bench, blowing big clouds of smoke out of his pipe. He did not speak, but kept his eyes fastened on the ground. In the meantime, Heidi looked about her and, discovering the goat shed, peeped in. Nothing could be seen inside. Searching for some more interesting thing, she saw the 3 old fir trees behind the hut. Here the wind was roaring through the branches and the treetops were swaying to and fro. Heidi stood still to listen. After the wind had ceased somewhat, she walked round the hut back to her grandfather. She found him in exactly the same position, and planting herself in front of the old man, with arms folded behind her back, she gazed at him. The grandfather, looking up, saw the child standing motionless before him. "What do you want to do now?" he asked her. "I want to see what's in the hut," replied Heidi. "Come then." And with that, the grandfather got up and entered the cottage. "Take your things along," he commanded. "I do not want them anymore," answered Heidi. The old man, turning about, threw a penetrating glance at her. The child's black eyes were sparkling in expectation of all the things to come. "She is not lacking in intelligence," he muttered to himself. Aloud, he added, "Why don't you need them any more?" "I want to go about like the light-footed goats." "All right, you can, but fetch the things and we'll put them in the cupboard." The child obeyed the command. The old man now opened the door, and Heidi followed him into a fairly spacious room, which took in the entire expanse of the hut. In one corner stood a table and a chair, and in another the grandfather's bed. Across the room a large kettle was suspended over the hearth, and opposite to it a large door was sunk into the wall. This the grandfather opened. It was the cupboard, in which all his clothes were kept. In one shelf were a few shirts, socks, and towels, on another a few plates, cups, and glasses, and on the top shelf, Heidi could see a round loaf of bread, some bacon, and cheese. In this cupboard, the grandfather kept everything that he needed for his subsistence. When he opened it, Heidi pushed her things as far behind the grandfather's clothes as she could reach. She did not want them found again in a hurry. After looking around attentively in the room, she asked, "Where am I going to sleep, grandfather?" "Wherever you want to," he replied. That suited Heidi exactly. She peeped into all the corners of the room and looked at every little nook to find a cozy place to sleep. Beside the old man's bed, she saw a ladder. Climbing up, she arrived at a hayloft, which was filled with fresh and fragrant hay. Through a tiny round window, she could look far down into the valley. "I want to sleep up here," Heidi called down. "Oh, it is lovely here. Please come up, grandfather, and see it for yourself." "I know it," sounded from below. "I am making the bed now," the little girl called out again, while she ran busily to and fro. "Oh, do come up and bring a sheet, grandfather, for every bed must have a sheet." "Is that so?" said the old man. After a while, he opened the cupboard and rummaged around in it. At last, he pulled out a long, coarse cloth from under the shirts. It somewhat resembled a sheet, and with this he climbed up to the loft. Here, a neat little bed was already prepared. On top, the hay was heaped up high so that the head of the occupant would lie exactly opposite the window. Now, here's the question. How is the grandfather presented in this passage? Explain how the writer creates a sense of his character. You should make points and support them with evidence from the text. Aim to make at least 5 different points. So what does this mean? We need to describe what kind of person the grandfather is. We must find quotes from the text that show this, and we should give at least 5 points. Let's find 5 examples together. Silent and withdrawn. The text says he did not speak, but kept his eyes fastened on the ground. This shows he isn't friendly at first. Commanding, take your things along, he commanded. The word commanded shows he is strict and gives orders. Observant, he mutters, she is not lacking in intelligence. This means he notices Heidi's cleverness even if he doesn't say it to her directly. Simple and self-sufficient. The cupboard holds bread, bacon, and cheese, everything that he needed for his subsistence. He lives a very plain life, only with essentials. Caring beneath the surface. At first he refuses, but later he pulled out a cloth and climbed up to the loft, so Heidi has a sheet. This shows hidden kindness. So the grandfather is shown as stern, quiet, and strict, but also observant, practical, and secretly caring. To answer this kind of 11+ question, remember the method. Step 1, read the question carefully. Step 2, pick out character clues. Step 3, use a short quotation as evidence. Step 4, explain what it shows about the character. If you make 5 clear points with quotes, you'll be on track for full marks. That's it for today's 11+ comprehension practice. If you found this useful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tips. See you next time.